Where am I?
Why, you're in the 1400s.
What? How could I have gone from the moon to the 1400s? This is crazy. Whoa, is that a barbarian? Barbarians are so cool, my mom used to tell me all about them.
What's so cool about barbarians? My ancestors, the Romans, are much cooler than those people. The barbarians are just uncivilized toughies that have fierce blue eyes, red hair and huge frames, just as the historian Tacitus said, and have no written history behind them whatsoever. They're just a group of people who haven't faced the joy of being civilized yet. They're sad people. Besides, we can't even understand them. All they say is "ba ba ba."
That's horrible, describing my people like that. That's what you all say, that we are ungoverned inferior races, but see for yourselves. What happened 3,000 years later, huh? Yeah, that's right, people like Adolf Hitler, who originated from us, took over. You know about him, right? Yeah, but Hitler isn't someone to be proud of. I understand that the barbarians were mostly known as the Germanic tribes who later became the Germans, but killing all those Jewish people is just not right.
See, what did I tell you? Those brutes were animists too. They believed in the sun, moon, and fire gods. That's why us Romans even built protective walls between the northern barbarians and the Romans. But we also hired some of those barbarians to protect our empire.
We really weren't people to be afraid of. We lived in peace in groups of 7 to 10 families with timbered houses and our animals. We worked for lords in return for land and protection, the beginnings of feudalism. But we couldn't live in those peaceful feudal villages anymore, because those Huns came. Those Huns were horrific horse people, who terrorized all of us barbarians. What are you talking about there about my people, huh? You want me to break one of those picture frames and crush you into a pulp? It was too cold where we were living anyway, in those Eurasian steppes, right below Russia. Is that what you call it today? We were nomads. It was natural for us to move to the warmer lands. See, look at them, they are just horrific. And see, they lived on horseback. Even when they were asleep. They hit their children's face to make them look scarier during battles, and they even sucked the blood of the horses that they lived on. Even more horrific was their leader, Attila the Hun. Known widely as the Scourge of God, he used savage acts of cruelty to keep both his people and the people he conquered from revolting. He even bandaged his own people's skulls, creating a group of soldiers that inflicted fearful images at first sight. Hey, you can't judge someone just by their appearance. You should have lived peacefully together. You are joking, right? Those Huns started murdering all of my people. That's why we had to escape to Rome. I admit we barbarians did invade and eventually end the Western Roman Empire, but we also worked as mercenaries to help protect you Romans.
As wild as you were useful as mercenaries. We would pit you barbarians against the Huns and sometimes each other. But there were so many barbarians moving south. You know how advanced our empire was, right? We were overtaken by these puny villagers, and the empire with hundreds of years of history collapsed, just like that.
Oh, you are talking about the Great Migration, which took place from 300 to 700 AD, and was an enormous migration of people in Europe. I've learned about it in my NASA training. I heard that historians agree that around 80,000 barbarians moved south during this time. It wasn't our fault that Rome fell. That empire was on the verge of falling anyway. They were all turning lazy and gluttonous ever since they got all that money. Our taking over was for the better. It's just like those Americans rebelling over England. We were simply getting rid of a corrupt and dysfunctional empire and bring rights and power to the non-Romans.
What did you say? You were just a bunch of uncivilized brats.
It was the Huns that started this in the first place. I'll kill you both. I'll beat the living daylights out of you too. Whoa. Stop it, you guys. Calm down. It's just your ancestors. Stop getting so worked up.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Run away.
Wow, the future seems very strange.
For once, I agree with you. I'm still going to beat you two into a pulp. Wow. I thought that I was going to the moon. Not back in time. But I learned so much. I can't believe that the Huns were the real cause for the end of the Roman Empire. How could such an uncivilized bunch of Huns take down the great Roman Empire? I guess it was a combination of the Romans' laziness and the Huns and barbarians both attacking at the same time. That must have overwhelmed the Roman infrastructure. And that all those barbarians could be so scared of just a few Huns. I always thought that the barbarians feared no one, but they did, and they ran away from the Huns. I guess fear is a pretty powerful weapon. Oh well. If they hadn't done it, I wouldn't be the first person on the moon. Because the technology would be so advanced that they would be in space earlier.